Hi there. Right now I'm filming on my mirrorless Canon Rebel T3i. And the reason it is mirrorless is because I ripped the mirror right out of it. Let me show you what I mean. So about a year ago, my friend gave me an old Canon T3i that they found in a box of old equipment that someone had left, and I didn't know, does this thing even work? I don't know. Could you get it to work or repair it or get any use out of it? It's yours. Thanks. Well, I tried to get it to work, couldn't figure out why it wasn't working. It would turn on, but the image, I just saw like a sliver of an image, and it couldn't take a picture with it. It would lock up. What am I supposed to do? I don't know. And is it worth sending off for repairs? It's an old camera. This camera's been around for a few years. Is it really worth it? But then I took a look at my friend's similar camera, a T5, and I noticed that it had something that my camera didn't have. See the light reflected right there? It has a working, perfectly functional mirror in it. My T3i did not. The mirror in it had broken off, and part of it had fallen backwards and was lodged in the shutter, which was stopping it from successfully taking a picture and showing me some light coming in to hitting the sensor, but not the full image. So that's what the deal was. Okay, well, what do I do though? Here, I'll show you what this thing looks like. See, there's no light being reflected, just a matte surface, because that's just a shutter. And you see that little part right in the middle? That part that's sort of dented out is where the shard of glass had gotten lodged. And fortunately hadn't hurt the sensor, but it was, you know, definitely up in the grill there, and that's not good. Can I replace that part? Can I glue it back together? What can I do? Well, I didn't know what to do, and I didn't want to spend a bunch of money on something that might ultimately not work anyway. But then I found on some astrophotography forum online, a guy had said, yeah, I had some problems taking constellation photos where my viewfinder was letting light leak in over time. So I put some tape over that, and I just ripped the mirror assembly right out. And it worked fine. The camera didn't know any better. It didn't have an error message. It still thinks that there's a mirror in there. It still makes the little flip up sound when it's like, oh, you're done with the viewfinder? Here, let's let it hit the sensor now. Everything was fine and no light leaked in because I sealed all that up. So with that in mind, I said, well, hey, that's better than shipping it off somewhere to repair and replace. I don't use a viewfinder that much anyway. I usually just use the screen on the back. So I grabbed some pliers and pulled that thing out and wiggled it out without hurting the sensor. I got it out of the shutter there and put a lens on, turned it on, and everything was fine. And so, yeah, this camera now works as a mirrorless camera. The only limitations now is can't use the viewfinder. You can see I got some gaff tape on that. And then one of the autofocus systems uses a separate sensor that is bounced up to. The light goes up, hits the mirror, and bounces up to the separate sensor that really quickly can autofocus. And then it pulls the mirror out of the way and takes the picture. So I don't have access to that anymore. But I still have autofocus. It's just the live view autofocus that's a contrast-based. It's a little slower, but gets the job done, especially if you're taking like portraits and headshots. They're not going anywhere, it's fine. Or if you're just standing in a place like this and doing a video, figure out the focus and leave it there. I'm not going like this all the time, so you don't really need the autofocus to be that amazing. And the thing works great. I put Magic Lantern on here, and now it has a lot of fun features on it that make it way better than it was before. It has focus peaking, and I can even see the audio levels in live view while I'm seeing what I'm looking at. So yeah, everything's fine. You heard it just now, where it flips up, thinking there's still a mirror there, but I won't tell it if you won't. Yeah, it works fine. However, I'm getting rid of this bad boy because my Patreon patrons and subscribers of my Exploring Esperanto language learning channel, they have graciously donated enough money for me to buy 3 matching Canon M50 cameras that are newer, lighter. I'm filming on one right now. Really like these cameras. I can use all the same lenses with adapters. I can use a speed booster to make these lenses even better than they are right now. I can do a lot more with those. This one also has a limitation in that it doesn't compress the video files as efficiently as the new camera does. So it hits that 4 GB limit faster. So even though technically this could film for 30 minutes, I usually can't film for longer than 15 to 17 minutes before it says 4 gigs, filled up, I have to start a new file now, and then it like interrupts the video, which is fine if you're shooting a short film and taking little, 3 or 4 minute takes here and there. But if I was filming a long concert or a lecture and not wanting to have to just keep starting it over again, that could get annoying. So I am giving this camera to a friend of mine who makes short films, and he is currently shooting on a T5. And you might think, oh, T5, that sounds more advanced. It's not really. The I at the end of T3i is what really makes the difference. So this thing doesn't have a flip out screen, which makes it kind of hard to do selfie videos or self-portraits. So that's a bummer. It also doesn't have a mic input to send great audio directly into the camera so that the video file has it. And that saves a step in editing. You don't have to sync up good audio later. So I'm really excited to give that to him. And since I put Magic Lantern on there, it has a lot of nice features that he wouldn't normally have and this wouldn't normally have. So yeah, I'm very excited, and thank you if you're watching this and you're one of the people who've donated to my channel. You enabled me to be super generous and give someone something that I think will be very useful and make things a lot easier to create new content with. So thank you. If you're a Canon Rebel owner and your mirror breaks, yank it out and keep on creating. Have a wonderful day.